Alright, in this video I have the Visuo K1 Pro. The main difference between this one and the last model is this does have a 2-axis gimbal. Let me go ahead and open this up. Take the gimbal off. Now it's supposed to have a 4K camera to take 4K stills and 2K video, but we'll see the video quality of that a little later. There are no sensors on the front. It does have vents here, but there are no sensors on this drone. It's cheap, so it's to be expected. Going around, you have brushless motors and the foldable props. We have two cameras at the bottom, an optical flow and a regular camera, but there's no real need for that. If this tilts all the way down, then you don't really need this camera. I'm not sure why they put two of them on there, or maybe one's a dummy. And it took me a while to find this micro SD card slot. It's tucked down under here, but it does have one. And there seems to be some kind of port under here for something, but nothing's connected to it. So maybe that's something in the future. Who knows? And here's the battery for it. It's a 3S 2500 milliamp hour battery, and you do charge it via this micro USB here. So it does take a while to charge when you're using a standard micro USB. Not much to the drone, it's just your standard cheap GPS drone. And let's go over the controller. So here's the controller. One thing that concerned me with this is it does have batteries, AAA batteries that go in the back, 4 of them. And this is not rechargeable. And that's a little odd when it comes to these drones, because sometimes even the cheapest ones have a charger on the controller. So there's not too much to it. This tilts your gimbal up and down. This changes your speed. It says speed and angle. Photo, video, headless mode, return home, and compass calibration. That's pretty much it. The good thing about this drone is it does have telemetry on there, so even if you lose FPV via your phone, you will still be able to see kind of how far the drone is away from you. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Okay, so here's what came in the box. The drone was folded up into here, and here's the extra battery I bought. I got the one with 2 batteries, so the one battery that's in it, and it had an extra and spare set of blades. And here's where the controller goes. And I did buy the one without the bag, but it does come with the insert that would be in the bag. So if you got a bag this dimension, and I'll put the size in the description, and maybe a link to a bag that would fit it in. So this will just slide right down into that bag and you'd be ready to go. Alright, let's get in the air and try it out. I'll power this on. The gimbal moved. Go ahead and turn on the controller. And you do up and down to sync the controller. There we go. Okay, so you want to go ahead and choose the TQ Pro. If you have any other networks, if you're like home and flying, go ahead and forget them, because if I'm out flying and I lose connection with the drone, it will automatically, if your phone's set to that, connect to say home Wi-Fi if I'm home, and then it won't reconnect with the drone. So I went ahead and forgot all my networks. That way, if I lose connection with this drone, and then whenever it comes back in to range, it would regain connection. Here's the app, FPV Go. Let's go into settings. Right now I have stabilization off, so I can get the highest recording format, and I'll go setup complete, start flight, and I should be good to go. I have 9 satellites. This is a little different than some of the drones out there that are cheap. This one actually has a working Google Maps, so I can do waypoints. Some of them don't work with my Android phone, but this one does use my cached app or cached maps. Standard stuff on this interface. Here's follow me right here. Here's circle mode, waypoints. Not sure what the I is. Right now I'm just concerned with the big stuff, which is follow, circle, see if I can do some kind of waypoints, checking my video quality, and let's go ahead and set this to HD up here. You can go VR mode, you can zoom in, but it's digital zoom, so it's not going to be as good. And this changes your camera from the, like I said, the downward camera to your frontward camera. And we'll check the quality of both of those. Okay, I'm looking, I have 10 satellites on my controller, 10 here, so these are synced up. So I should be ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn them in. See if we can see that gimbal at work. See the gimbal moving. Just do a little hover. Just see how well it maintains GPS before we go flying around. Okay, go ahead and hit record on that video. Just fly it out a little. Right now I just want to check the quality of the video. That's the main thing for me. Is how does this cheap drone look with your 2-axis gimbal, and stabilization is not on because to have it in HD you have to have stabilization off. Now we'll check the speed of it. So this is in 1. It's not very fast. Let's get away from the sun here. And I'm sure this is more for filming. So again, this is the first speed. I'll bring it around. Do a flyby. That's max throttle. So now I'll change the speed by turning this here, that wheel. This is speed 2. So it went from about 2.5 meters per second, 3 meters per second, to now it should be about twice that. Full speed. Okay, let's take it up some. Just like the last drone that I reviewed, I'm only about 600 feet out, but right now it's telling me I am 900 meters out, or it was saying 600 meters. That's not true. Let's bring the altitude down some, because it only lets you go 100 meters up. So now I brought it down to 97, but notice it says 1,500 meters right there, and that is not true. I'm only 1,500 feet away, and there's my house right there. If I was 1,500 meters, I wouldn't be able to see the house. So this is the second drone that I've gotten recently that has pretty much not been correct when it came to the distance being in meters when they're actually in feet. So let's try to tilt the gimbal. That's right here. And it's not a smooth tilt. It does it in increments. Unless you hold it, but the increments are pretty fast. And then I'll stop the video. Let's check out the picture quality. Snap a photo. One more. Oh, it took a while to save. And again, you can edit that fisheye later. Let's take a photo trying to get to horizon. Level. And we'll see if we can clean that picture up at all. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it in and try some of the other functions. Okay, first I'm going to try a circle. And I click that over here, the circle, and it'll let you do left and right, but it won't give me an option to change the radius. So I'll go ahead and click this one, hit upload. And it'll fly out a few meters and then start to rotate. And we'll see if the circle gets bigger. It's just rotating. So this is more to circle a person than a big object, because it's not, it won't let me, and it's a GPS follow, change. So it's getting a little closer. Let's go ahead and turn it. Right now I'm pulling down on the sticks and it's still staying at the same radius. If I push forward, should be turning with me. We'll bring it down a little here. Oh, maybe this will do it. So that's doing it. You have to push forward on the sticks this way to increase the radius of the circle. Now I can tilt the gimbal wheel up a little. It is coming forward. Keep pulling it back. And now it should circle. Probably one of the better GPS follows with the cheap drones. No kind of active track. And I'll push towards it. Okay, so that works. So it does a clockwise, backwards. Counterclockwise. So we're not going to worry about the other direction. We just know that circle is working right now. So while I'm up over the trees, let's go ahead and try waypoint mode. Okay. Let's click on these waypoints over here. So my phone's a little, let's move away from the sun. No fixed mode, no trajectory flight. So it didn't do exact, but that all depends on the GPS of your phone, if it's correct. Too bad I can't make it satellite, but it seemed to work pretty good. Let's see what that does. Nope, can't change it. So let's go, make sure I'm up over the trees. We'll hit that way, use the, okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll hit upload, sending data. And it's starting its first waypoint. Let's look at it on the map. It's over at 1. It's turning. Then going towards 2. So now it's going to waypoint 4 and it should stop. Okay, the mission is done. So now I'll go down and try out the follow. So I'll go ahead and hit the follow. And that's pretty much it for the basic functions of the drone. So let's go ahead and bring it in. I'll hit return to home, see how close to home it gets. So I'll fly out a little. And notice when I'm in return to home, or when I'm in low battery, and I push the sticks all the way forward, it's not letting me go more than, let's see, it says 29 meters out. Which is probably more like 28 feet out. Bring it closer. So let's see where 10 feet would be. Right there would be about 10-15 feet. And I'm looking at 12 meters, so I'm not 30 feet away, so I know right now the distance is in feet, not meters. And again, it'll only let me go. Now it's saying 25 meters, and let's see how high it'll let me go. For height, it limited me at 22 meters height, 25 meters distance whenever I'm in low battery. So I'll go ahead and hit return to home and see how close it gets. So I hit the return home button here. It's climbing. Tilt the wheel down. Turn around. And I did arm it facing that direction, so it turned in the same direction that I armed it. Let's see how close it's going to get. But I am a good distance away from where it took off. But it doesn't have any kind of precision landing or anything like that, so I'll hit return to home to stop it. And go ahead and land it on its own. And go ahead and land it manual. Alright, that's it for this review. Again, this is the K1 Probe by Visuo. My final thoughts, it's nice to have it record the SD. It is a very good flyer. It doesn't go the distance that it says it does, but it's going to go about 1,500 feet whenever I tested it, and that's because you're using your phone as your FPV. So the controller will go further, but you're only going to see it at about 1,500 feet out. And that's okay because that's about the distance for line of sight flying anyway. The 2-axis gimbal is really nice. The brushless motors give it plenty of power. It's nice to be able to recharge via micro USB, except for it takes a long time to recharge using the micro USB. As far as video quality, it's about the same as all the rest of them in this sub $150 price range. The pictures, pretty much the same. So whenever you're editing your pictures or videos, you'd have to do it in post and remove the fisheye. But that's it. Let me know what you think of this cheap GPS quad, and I'll do a couple more videos with this one, and I have more drones coming in. But until then, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.